So let me begin with a very, very short exposition and then we'll get into the deleted issue. Essentially, the Baliset is a multi-string instrument and it only exists within the fictional universe of Dune. Since Dune is a book, we really can't say how the Baliset works, but the Baliset is a favorite instrument of Gurney, and it's actually very important because Gurney is mostly portrayed as a very hardened warrior, very tough. But the Baliset playing shows he has kind of different side to him. He has a lot of layers. And I don't know why, but some people keep saying I'm making up stuff in terms of deleted scenes. Well, with the Baliset, we have actually confirmation on several fronts. Josh Brolin talked about it. Denis talks about it too, and he regrets that he did film it, but he had to cut it. And the Baliset is in the film. We don't see him playing it, but if you're observant, we do see the Baliset at different points in time within the film. So it is there, but the scene actually him playing it was completely eliminated. I also remember there's one time when he's walking and he's holding something on his shoulder. I would assume that's the Baliset, but can't promise. I didn't get a clear view of it. If you do go through the film carefully, you're probably going to spot the Baliset at various little points within the narrative, but we don't really know what it is because nobody explicitly talks about it. There's only one scene where Paul says, "Could you play something, Gurney?" But again, unless you're really into Dune and the mythology, you won't know it's the Baliset. You'll just say, "Oh, maybe he means kind of our instrument, maybe a piano or even a guitar." No, they mean the Baliset. So what are we losing here by not having this? Well, as I said, I think we're losing how multi-dimensional Gurney is. The Gurney in this version, the 2021 version, is pretty strong, and it is a good performance, but they just focus so much on him being a very tough and very well-trained soldier and someone who's passing on his skills to Paul and concerned for his safety. And it's a little overdone in terms of him emphasizing how threatening the Harkonnens are, which we do see in the film. But again, Gurney is much more than that. He's not just somebody who's really tough and a mentor. He does have different layers to him, so that's sort of symbolic of what's the problem with Dune 2021. Most of it's really good, but again, aside from Paul, Leto, Jessica, even the Baron, there's really not much focus on the characters per se. It's just those 4 or 5 characters that get a lot of attention. We see them develop. We see a lot of different sides to them. We see them in different moods, but with Gurney, it's fairly one-dimensional, and it's kind of a shame they just got rid of it, because apparently they really did a lot for it. Hans Zimmer even wrote music to accompany Gurney, and Josh Brolin himself can sing, so we were going to see his singing talents at work. And that is one thing you appreciate about this version of Dune, that they really worked hard on the sound. And even though the music didn't work for me for the most part, they definitely put in a huge amount of effort that it would be very well done. So it is regrettable that we didn't get this singing scene with Gurney, because I think it would have really added a lot of texture to the world building. It's not absolutely vital to the story, but it does give us more insight into who Gurney is and why he does what he does. So I respect a lot of people who think this version is going to be the best version of Dune, but if you are curious, there actually is a scene within the David Lynch version that has him playing the Baliset. And to be fair, the sci-fi version also features a little bit of Gurney in the Baliset, but I think in terms of the best character, the Lynch version so far is the best version of Gurney, because we do see a lot of different sides of Gurney, not just this one-dimensional kind of tough warrior trope, and that's it. And the sci-fi version is pretty decent, but again, I just think the way they did the story was overall a little strange. Even though they had the time, it's a little rushed in places, and Gurney comes off pretty well, but again, it's actually not much better than the Denis version in terms of it's mostly like a one-dimensional portrait. And at least the Denis version has really high production values, whereas the sci-fi version is very mixed in terms of its sound quality, its special effects, and so on and so forth. So again, overall, a very good performance, and for the most part, pretty well done. But again, unfortunately, a little bit too simplistic in terms of portraying Gurney and what he's about. I suppose they could try to include this as a flashback in part 2, but it would be very weird. But we shall see in terms of what the ultimate fate of Gurney and his Baliset will be. Thanks for listening.